What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now today I had this random video pop up on my YouTube recommended, and it says, how do you plan for 46 million people? Now, if you know where they're talking about, if you've seen this video, they are talking about Delhi in India. Now, how do you plan for 46 million people? You don't, to be honest. I mean, how can you? But we're here to check it out, because I believe we're going to be told a solution. Or to be honest, we're just going to learn a little bit in this video. So hey, if you guys are new, subscribe. Let's just get straight into it. I will not waste any more time. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream.
Huh? Oh, hell no. All right, hey, shout out to the video. Let's skip through this guy.
On average, have 1 million people living in.
Oh wait, hold on, we skipped too
main
far.
city.
Hold on.
Federal government has to encourage development. Imagine a city so large and growing so fast, the federal government has to encourage development in nearby cities to absorb the migrants moving to the main city. Really? And those smaller cities would already, on average, have 1 million people living in them. That's exactly what's happening in India's national capital region, home to Delhi.
Yeah.
Delhi is a city experiencing rapid urbanization thanks to in-migration from rural areas in India.
Bro, I mean, just last pause of the video, but there will be nothing that'll amaze me more than how they have possibly fitted in. Like, look how many, like, apartment, tall building, houses, construction, like, hotel, like, bro, it has got to be, it just blows my mind every time. Like, if you compare this to my city of Melbourne in Australia, we would literally just be a little dot in here, like, seriously.
The city boasts per capita incomes 3 times higher than the national average, and that level of opportunity is appealing. At the same time, Delhi is struggling to welcome all migrants by expanding roads, sewers, water, and other essential services. The result is a proliferation of slums and informal settlements. The city can't keep up with growth. Back in 1985, the National Capital Region's Planning Board proposed a solution. Identify cities within 100 to 400 kilometers of Delhi and encourage migrants to move there, usually through development projects in those satellite cities to encourage new development, affordable housing, and job opportunities. These satellite cities would be called counter-magnets because they are meant to attract people away from Delhi, itself a massive magnet for migrants. The planning board chose 5 cities from 5 different adjacent states, each situated to form a ring around Delhi to hopefully attract migrants from every direction. This plan makes a lot of sense, on paper at least, and since the program began, those cities have received loan assistance to build the required projects of the counter-magnet program. The results, though, have not been what Indian authorities would have hoped. There were simply not enough new opportunities created for migrants, and people kept moving to Delhi. The Regional Planning Agency has since added more cities to the program. Will more mean better? It remains to be seen. But this is the kind of large-scale creative problem-solving a region like Delhi has to undertake to solve its growth management issues. In 2030, the region will be home to a projected 39...
Wait. I was trying to read that, and he totally skipped it. Hold on. Hold on, let me go back a second. Alrighty, here we go. So 2018, that's technically 4 years ago now. Alright, Japan, I mean, yeah. Delhi, shit, I mean, that's obvious. Shanghai, Sao Paulo, Mexico City, Egypt, Cairo, I don't know if that's... Mumbai's in there, Beijing, Dhaka, of course, in Bangladesh, and Osaka in Japan. Okay.
2030, the region will be home to a projected 39 million residents.
Oh my sweet lord. Yeah, that's right. So Delhi is on track to be easily the biggest city in the world. Japan, I almost called it Shanghai. Shanghai, Dhaka, Egypt, Cairo, however it's called, Mumbai, Beijing. Okay, so all these, but where's Melbourne? No. Australia is way too small for that.
Tokyo in the world rankings to become the most populous city on Earth. And that's just the UN's estimate. India's own estimate for the region has the population at 46 million people.
Damn!
I did a video on Tokyo a couple of years ago profiling the history of today's world's largest city. I think it's time to do one for Delhi, seeing as how it'll become the world's most populous city in the next few years, if it hasn't already.
Alrighty.
In this video, we're going to explore the megacity of Delhi and try to understand how it's facing the challenge of being home to 46 million people.
Bro, that is insane.
It has to employ some pretty innovative planning techniques. Let's get into those after the bike bell.
46 million people in one, like, city is outrageous stuff. I just don't know how you get that done. It is remarkable to think there's that many people.
46 million people in one city. Well, kind of, sort of. When you're talking about the largest cities in the world, the measuring stick is usually the metropolitan region.
Oh, okay.
In India, the National Capital Region coordinates Delhi's planning. It includes the entire National Capital Territory, a state-level division, as well as several adjacent districts from the states of Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan. The region is massive, 55,000 square kilometers. Only about 63% of the region is actually urbanized, though urbanization is happening rapidly. Here's a look at Delhi's urbanization through time, starting with the boundaries of the urbanized area at about 1950.
Yeah.
Everything built between 1400 BCE to 1950 fits in there. By 1975, the urbanized area more than doubled. That's because its regional population doubled from 5 to 10 million right after Indian independence and the partition in 1947.
Oh, yeah, true. That was,
And by 1997, the area doubled yet again and was really absorbing nearby cities. And today, you can see the enormous extent of the urban area.
Where?
There are a couple of landmarks worth pointing out right here.
Caught me off guard.
First is Old Delhi, or Shah Jahanabad, built by the Emperor Shah Jahan when he moved the capital of the Mughal Empire from Agra to the city in 1638. He built a magnificent palace called the Red Fort right here. He also built the massive mosque.
Yeah. Hey, I believe I've done a few videos on the Red Fort, or at least it's been featured in a few. So we know that. We all over
shortly
that.
afterward. The main roads between important buildings in Old Delhi became large bazaars, shopping streets basically. Old Delhi's urban fabric is obviously quite different than the urbanism found in New Delhi, designed by the British when it made Delhi the capital of colonial India in 1911. The British Raj originally had the capital in Kolkata, but the city became a hotbed for nationalist anti-British sentiment.
Did it?
The British
I don't even
justified
know
the
what that
move
means.
in part because they felt like Delhi had a healthier climate for its imperial workforce, and they had control of large parcels of land where they could build a capital city worthy of the jewel of the British colonial empire. Designed by the British architect Edwin Lutyens, the plan was meant to convey British colonial power. It was considered a more civilized view of...
Hey, bro has got the freshest of glasses right here. I mean, what? This photo would have been taken in 1930s, maybe? That's a guess. Were cameras around then? Hey, bro is looking very fresh.
The city,
that's all I've got to say.
meant to contrast with the dense energy of Old Delhi. If you've noticed the axes and diagonal boulevards look like Washington, D.C., you'd be right. Washington was indeed a key precedent used. And if you notice that it also looks suspiciously like the plan for Australia's capital, Canberra, you'd also be right.
Yeah! Australia getting the shout out. Nice.
Flexing your knowledge of planned capitals. Canberra was designed at essentially the same time as New Delhi, and both had garden city origins. What was urban development like in Delhi after the British built New Delhi? Well, New Delhi normalized leafy, low-density suburban development in the area. New Delhi was designed to house 60,000 people at a density far lower than Old Delhi. Yet middle-class Indians now viewed low-density sprawl as the way to grow, and many areas of Delhi now exemplify that model. But you also have other incredibly dense nodes throughout the region, which include other old cities like Old Delhi absorbed into the metro by suburban development, or high-density unplanned slums. The east bank of the Yamuna River in particular has experienced rapid urbanization that has outpaced the extension of critical services like water and sewer. Delhi's population grew after it became the capital, and exploded after independence with the partition of India. How did the city start responding to this incredible growth? The city adopted the Delhi Master Plan of 1962, written by a group of American and Indian planners. It definitely came with a Western bent, too, and viewed the density of Old Delhi as undesirable. It instead preferred low-density residential development. Mixed-use development was discouraged. Commercial development was to be clustered in nodes that were often far from housing, and the entire city would be ringed by a greenbelt. How did the plan work out? Well, Delhi grew a lot faster than planners envisioned. The greenbelt eroded, and Delhi eventually grew and merged with nearby cities. At the same time, the city didn't build enough of those commercial centers. Mixed-use development happened instead, and it was sort of ad hoc, and they didn't achieve the organization they were hoping for.
Right. I will never understand why I understand that, you can't just have things handed to you, and, you can't just, everyone just can't get given $1 million. Well, they probably could. Everyone in the world could be given $1 million and live happy the rest of their life by the government, but we won't get into that. But, it just makes no sense that, especially an Indian government, which is, let's not beat around the bush, they're made of money. Or at least supporting nations could have at least chipped in if need be. But how do you not plan for more people to come? It just screams of, we don't care enough to me. Hey, let me know what you guys think, because I know some people watching this
by the 1980s,
probably live
the
in
city was
Delhi,
adding
so I want to hear what you have to
1.6 million
say.
people per year. Traffic
Damn,
emerged as one of the
1
biggest
point-
challenges as the distance between land uses grew
Yeah,
as the
well, that's
metro area
in the
grew.
metro.
The city had highways and a bus network, but no metro system befitting a city that now had about 9 million people just
Didn't
within
they?
the city
Wait, don't
limits.
they have one?
In the
They do.
1990s, local officials began to draft serious plans for a new system, and construction began in 1998.
Oh, so they
The
did.
Red Line was the first to open in 2002.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
since
say,
then,
isn't
8
there
more
one?
lines have been added, with the most recent opening in 2019.
The smartest thing. All right, last pause of the video. The smartest thing they could have done in India or in Delhi. I mean, it should be in every part where it is busy enough, but especially in Delhi. I mean, how it took so long to being, 2001, 2002 to build one of these and get it done. Like this, people, they won't have to get stuff in traffic. They won't have to either buy a motorbike or a car or a bloody, they can get to work, get to school, go see their friends, their parents through all. Like, the smartest thing they could have done was bring this in. So I will give them a bravo for
The
that.
system now has 254 stations and 384 kilometers of track.
Wow.
The Delhi Metro provides about 2.5 million rides per day,
Oh,
which is
2.5
substantial, but still somewhat below expectations for a city of its size.
Yeah, well,
By
yeah.
comparison, Tokyo's 2 metro systems provide nearly 10 million rides per day.
Oh.
But there's already an adopted plan for another round of expansions that would add 100 kilometers of lines and 115
Yeah, that's good.
stations. Getting Delhi residents out of cars is imperative, as air pollution is nearly off the charts. In November of 2021, India's Supreme Court announced a lockdown of the capital region that would ban all non-essential travel to get the air pollution under control.
Really?
The air quality index in some places was over 400 on a 500-point scale.
Damn.
For reference, here in California, students are not allowed outside during recess if the AQI is above 100. In Delhi, no surprise, schools were just straight up canceled. The region sees bad air quality in the winter
How
months
does it-
when vehicle-related emissions mix with nearby crop burning practices
Oh,
after the harvest.
So is that how pollution actually, because I'm not that much like, this might sound really dumb, especially considering how old I am, but I actually, I don't really understand where, how pollution and how, everything, in the environment happens and gets ruined. So it's just by, petrol and stuff. I mean, you're getting all these cars on the road, they're all blowing out the same stuff. Everyone's got motorbikes, like a tuk-tuk, they've got, cars. I mean, shit, you got to do what it is to look after your city, I guess. I mean...
Next on the list of megacity challenges after air pollution and traffic are slums. Delhi does have some, though less than 1/5 of the urban areas covered by them. That's a
Unfortunately,
percentage
everywhere
lower than a
does in the
city like
world,
Mumbai.
so-
This is due in part to the system of urban villages that already exists.
Okay.
These 135 villages originated as agricultural towns that lost their agriculture due to urbanization. The National Capital Region's policy for these villages was simply to draw a red line around them, exempt them from any planning regulations, and prohibit outsiders from buying land there.
What?
Villagers then began to
okay,
subdivide
I
properties
get
and
that.
build dense housing to accommodate growing demand for affordable housing.
Okay.
As they are largely unregulated, these urban villages are still not up to code and are rather haphazard. But they acted as a sponge and soaked up some of the migrants so they didn't have to build their own slum homes.
Wow.
Some of the urban villages have even transformed into hip, trendy destinations, as they attracted artists and small business owners looking for affordable places to set up shop.
Okay.
Hauz Khas village is known in Delhi as the prime example of this phenomenon, with its art galleries and alleys, food stalls, and fancy restaurants. The problem with doing a video on the soon-to-be largest city on the planet is that there's so much to talk about. This has just been a brief overview of the way this city has been dealing with the challenges associated with extreme urbanization. If you'd like to see some more Delhi content, check out the video on New Delhi over on Nebula. New Delhi is a fascinating piece of British colonial urbanism and a unique entry into the planned capital genre. And if you're not interested in Delhi,
Hey,
I might...
it looks like that is going to cap it off. What is this, like a 10-minute ad at the end? What the hell's going on? There's still like 3 minutes left. I imagine he's just doing a few ad sponsorships here at the end, so...
If you're interested in learning more about the British Empire and
My word, he is. So shout out to him, shout out to him for the cheeky sponsor. Well done. Hey, that will cap it off, guys. Hey, that was actually a really good video. I've already learnt a lot. I've got to get back into doing a lot of these sort of videos because the amount of stuff that I've learnt over the last year or two as well. But not only that, whether it's whatever it's on, I just want to learn some more stuff. I feel like the more information and knowledge we have on certain stuff is definitely helpful. But hey, shout out to the man. Original link in the description. Hey, if you are from Delhi, let me know. Let me know what you think, how the city's going, what the future could be. What do you think should happen to improve, the city, and not even just the city, the whole of India. Whether it's adding more, metro stations, whether it's what is the next goal? What is the next step? I guess in a way to improve certain places, because I guess that's the only. Now, and all we want is the best for everyone, and Like, I mean, what I was going to say before is how easy would it be for the government to literally just fork out $1 million or $5 million or $10 million and just build a nice, massive hotel in the air, and they can just put, you know, they can get everyone in there who wants to go in there on a very cheap rate, who is not living in the best situations right now. I feel like it would be so easy for all of these rich, selfish, greedy people in the world to literally just put $5 a head together, and they could literally get so many, you know, people living in not good situations where they need to be into safe, comfy, with a roof over their head homes. Would be just, that should be the goal of just every country in the world, in my opinion. But look, I guess that's why I'm not Prime Minister. Hey, that will cap it off, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.